Prime Minister discusses farmers' needs, DASPA discusses airport permits, and grant for constituency in focus. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani.
And I'm Jarna Hector. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DASPA is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DASPA is your water and sewage company.
Thanks for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Roosevelt Skerrit, has cited the overwhelming cost of labor as one of the challenges facing Dominican farmers. Speaking to Bell's farmers earlier this month, Honorable Skerrit lamented that in addition to this cost, farmers sometimes do not get a fair day's work. He empathized with farmers who are faced with this challenge.
We have to speak about these issues. It is not only about inputs, but also the issue of labor, which you have control over. Because we small farmers cannot survive if we have to be spending so much money on labor. Now, it is not about spending the money, it's about the output which we receive from the farm labor. And this is why it is unfortunate that sometimes we cannot even get Dominicans themselves to work on the farms for us. And yet still we talk about there's no jobs in Dominica. But if we do not have a Haitian or two working for us, then we're in trouble.
He noted that quality of produce is another challenge to the industry. The Honorable Prime Minister reminded farmers of their responsibility to produce quality in order to secure Dominica's position on the regional market.
So I would like you to produce the best quality agricultural produce you can find anywhere in the world. You need the support. Reach out to us, we shall provide you with that support. But at the end of the day, the quality of the fruit is your responsibility.
Meantime, the Honorable Prime Minister says that his government is working to retain Dominica's position on regional markets while actively seeking to expand that market share.
Next year, along with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, they have gone as a first mission to St. Thomas. And they've met with several potential buyers of our produce. As a matter of fact, this week we are sending a first trial shipment of ripe bananas to St. Thomas. And the intention there is to work with a group in St. Thomas to assist with the ripening of our fruit so we can supply the U.S. Virgin Islands with bananas, with fruit from Dominica. And a number of other produce that we are seeking to sell more of.
He says work is also ongoing to expand the market share in Antigua and St. Kitts.
Kimani, every time we discuss agriculture here or we write a story on agriculture, it's still obvious, it remains the same, that government is so clearly focused on agriculture and so in tune with farmers' needs. Government dialogues with farmers and hucksters all the time to find out what their challenges are and what their needs are. And you know more recently what government has done to meet those needs.
Yes, exactly. Governments, well, the most recent is at least $10 million being placed at Aid Bank. Well, when the new budget is read, at least for the next financial year, at least $10 million at the Aid Bank, so that farmers have cash in hand to do what they need to do, their different projects. As the Prime Minister stated in this story, that two of them, the challenges facing farmers is the quality of produce and the cost of labor.
Yes.
So when you place all this input, you place all this cash into your farm, and then it takes 7 months before you can reap a harvest so that you can have cash in hand, it can be difficult. So government is looking at all those things, and that is why $400,000 was placed at Dexia, so that when farmers sell the produce, they have cash in hand to place into their farms. Money was also placed in DAPEX for hucksters, so that when they buy from farmers, farmers have cash in hand, or they have cash to pay farmers instead of waiting until they sell the produce. Yeah. So government has been doing a lot. Millions of dollars literally has been spent in the agriculture industry, and I'm seeing that millions more will be spent.
The watchword for a while has been export, and Dominica has its very own national export strategy, which outlines the vision and the plan for Dominica's export sector, and agriculture is at the top of that. So we talk about agriculture every day on the streets, on the radio, on TV, and I think it's imperative that stakeholders and interested persons take a look at that strategy, because it's very insightful. It outlines the visions, well, the vision, the challenges, the strengths, the weaknesses, and every stakeholder should take a look and see where exactly they fall into that strategy. It's a very insightful document.
Yes, and especially the farmers, though. I think that seeing that all that money is being spent in the industry, sometimes you kind of get the sense that maybe the money, it's not that it's being wasted, but you want to see the rewards. You know, you want to see the industry moving, and I think that government is doing its part, and it's really left up to the farmers to, you know, run their farms like a business, and really to ensure that when the monies are being made available to them, that they use the money for the purpose for which it's intended, you know, and they actually make a profit, and they can expand and really move the industry forward. So the farmers really have a key role to play in the success of the agriculture industry.
And we are looking forward to this next financial year's budget presentation to see what else government has planned for the agriculture industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on, this summer teachers across the island are again being afforded the opportunity to further develop their skills and to build on prior knowledge. The Dominica Association of Teachers, the DAT, and the Ministry of Education have collaborated with the Canadian Teachers Federation to facilitate another summer workshop. The two-week workshop commenced on Monday, July 11th, with an opening ceremony at the Convent High School auditorium. In attendance were Chief Personnel Officer Gloria Joseph, Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine, Assistant Chief Education Officer Dr. Jeffrey Blaise, and the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Seja. The Honorable Minister began his address by thanking the DAT for its tireless dedication to education.
Let me therefore first take this opportunity to thank the Dominica Association of Teachers, the DAT, and the Canadian Teachers Federation for yet another year of targeted intervention that seeks to position our teachers as better professionals. The Dominica Association of Teachers must be applauded for its efforts in organizing pertinent and relevant professional development opportunities for its members. And Madam President, I really want to commend you and your executive for the constant work that you have been doing with our teachers.
He commented that the summer workshop has over the years continued to be well organized and effective in its job of assisting teachers to grow professionally. The Honorable Minister gave special thanks to the attending teachers and organizers for sacrificing time from their summer vacation to attend the event.
This, to my mind, is no small commitment. As a former classroom teacher myself, I know very well that after an entire year of hard work, a vacation seems like a pretty good idea. But you are here this morning, and I congratulate you for the deep interest that you are taking in your own professional development. It tells me that you understand that in order to be effective teachers, you must keep updating and refining your knowledge and skills.
This year, the workshop will highlight the themes of classroom management, visual and performing arts, literacy, numeracy, special education, information technology, teacher professionalism, gender equity, and HIV and AIDS. Tina Helmuth, Canadian Teachers Federation team leader, also addressed the ceremony, describing her team's experience in Dominica thus far.
Since arriving in Dominica, we have been guests at the graduation ceremony for Goodwill Secondary, as well as for Newtown, Girondel, and Bagatelle primary schools. Through these experiences, we have witnessed firsthand the great diversity of education on the island. We have also enjoyed the lush green environment of, as you've mentioned, the Nature Island. Been adjusting, I have to confess, I'm from the prairie, so it's for me, my roads are straight for thousands of kilometers. Adjusting to driving on the narrow, twisting, winding, mountainous roads. I'm told that locals also have problems with that sometimes. Seen the rebuilding of critical infrastructure after the damages caused by Tropical Storm Erica, and experienced awe in the resiliency and the commitment of the government and the citizens. And I love the slogan, build it back better. That is so true. Most importantly, we have heard the message that education is highly valued in Dominica.
She noted that after more than 2 decades of collaboration between the DAT and the CTF, it is clear that the key to an educated society is well-trained and passionate teachers.
We as teachers have the role of developing greatness in ourselves and encouraging our students to see the greatness they possess. I look around the room and I see dedicated adults. We wouldn't be here if we didn't want to exchange ideas in different schools, at different levels, others from our own country and others from Canada. We too, the Canadians, wouldn't be here if we weren't open to learning new things in education that we can bring back to our various provinces and territories. Teachers hold the key of igniting passions in others. Some students may be harder to reach and teach, but we still must try to ignite that spark of learning.
In her address, President of the Dominica Association of Teachers, Celia Nicholas, stressed the need for professionalism within the teaching profession.
Rise to professionalism, uphold professionalism. If we want to be considered as a professional body, then there are do's, and I stress do's. I don't like to stress the negative. So I'm encouraging all of us here who have decided to become a teacher, to decide if you're going to remain in it, to do your utmost to be a professional. I often hear individuals say that the profession is losing its respect. And I always tell people, I am not losing my respect as a professional teacher and principal. So it means that there has to be some introspection if this is happening. That we are responsible for the profession and nobody is responsible for the profession.
She also stressed on the importance of training, hence this workshop.
We have to dictate what we want in our profession, and as the DAT has been saying time and time again, individuals who have not been formally trained, I'm not negating the fact that they have brought something into the profession. But there is no profession on the face of the earth which allows individuals to come in to practice the profession without the proper license. And the license being, for us here, the teacher training, the clinical part of it. In the other countries, the first world countries, you must have it. In some of the Caribbean territories, it is becoming mandatory. From the CARICOM desk, education CARICOM desk, this is what is being pushed.
The Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, DASPA, is emphasizing that all taxi drivers must have a permit from the authority. Late last month, a notice was issued to all tourism-related organizations to remind them of the existing legislation in that regard. In an exclusive interview with GIS News, CEO of DASPA, Benoit Badwell, stressed that the taxi driver's permit for the Douglas Charles Airport does not apply to private vehicles. The DASPA boss explained that the regulation is not new, however, there was a need to remind tourism associations. Chapter 4701 of the Melville Hall Regulations states that any person wishing to conduct business at the airport must have the approval of the airport manager.
The regulations does not make or does not bar persons or, or local parlance, prevent persons from coming to the airport to pick up their families and friends. So nothing, you can come to the airport at any time and pick up your family and friend, and there is absolutely no problems for that. The conditions there is that you go to the car park, which is a general car park area, and then you walk up to the airport where there is an area where you can meet and greet your family and friends. But it does not give an individual the right to go on the airport and park anywhere and come up to the area where he's not designated to park.
Taxi drivers requesting to be added to the list would need to meet a number of requirements, and their vehicles would need to be certified by the Discover Dominica Authority. DASPA would like to ensure that taxi drivers maintain their livelihood, meet the regulations, and uphold airport standards.
The permits indicates, and as we have said in the advertisements, they would apply, we would do the background check on the person. The person needs to ensure that they have a police record, they have the necessary insurance and certification to move persons. Because one of the things we would not like is to have someone pick up somebody at the airport for hire, and next thing you have a problem and there is no insurance, the vehicle may not be certified, and then it creates a world of problems for that person. And not only for the person, but for the country and the government by extension. Because here it is that, if we have an incident, then that incident quickly gets on the internet and then it becomes a worldwide issue.
He went further to say that this is the reason for issuing notice to the DHTA, taxi associations, and other agencies utilizing vehicles for hire. The application forms for permits are available at DASPA and are valid for 1 year.
It is a good thing for us in the sense that if we know there are persons who are authorized, who are permitted to be able to function at the airport, it is a better control factor, it is good for security, and we will be aware of all the persons who are operating there. Let's say some person were to pick up a tourist, and just pick up a tourist for hire. They go on the internet and they connect to that person. And there is a negative response based on that person's reaction. One, maybe price, maybe a situation that arises, which we hope will not take place. It's going to negatively impact on Dominica's overall tourism product in terms of how we try to portray Dominica. And that is going to come back to the tourism board, it's going to come back to DASPA, it's going to come back to the government in terms of the Ministry of Tourism, and there's going to be a whole sort of damage control in terms of how we deal with that situation.
There are two levels of permits, those that allow a taxi to be on the daily list and those for private institutions applying to operate at the airport.
If he has an H-bus, he comes and he explains to the officer that he's dropping off his family. He's the owner of that bus. Obviously, a question or two, simple answers provided, he will be given access. But it cannot be that that bus comes to the airport Monday to Sunday, every day dropping off family and friends. I mean, let's face it, we will know clearly that that is a business being run. From the standpoint, the taxi people pay $580, and I think the special permit is $450.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Welcome back. The Government of Dominica continues to make funds available for several projects in the Grand Forks constituency. Over $200,000 has been put to work for the eradication of pit latrines in that constituency. In an interview with GIS News, Honorable Member of Parliament for the Grand Forks constituency, Ivor Stevenson, said he is pleased that modern washroom facilities are being installed in 25 homes.
25 persons from these villages are going to have access to washroom facilities to include toilets and also bathrooms. Now, among the list of persons that have been identified are persons who are physically challenged, the elderly, and also single parents. So I'm happy that those persons are going to benefit and they're going to have access to proper toilets, since this is one of the challenges that we have in the constituency. And I know that the people that are going to benefit will for sure will now be able to access washroom facilities that are attached to their homes, because we know sometimes when you have pit latrines, the difficulties that people can have in terms of accessing pit latrines, especially at nights and in bad weather conditions. So again, I just want to thank the Ministry of Finance, for the Prime Minister, for his continued effort and foresight in helping to improve the health of our people and also ensuring that persons are much more comfortable.
Honorable Stevenson spoke of another project which is ongoing in his constituency, the poultry program, where 6 men and 2 women are engaged in raising broilers to supply the national abattoir. Government is spending about $70,000 on this project. This includes the construction of chicken coops, provision of chicks, feed and other supplies, and the stipend for those employed.
What we are doing in this constituency is that we are preparing young persons, young entrepreneurs for the growing of broiler birds, which in itself will give great support to the abattoir project. The persons that have been identified for that program, part of the pilot program, they themselves too are receiving the education component of the program, and we are just now winding down now on this program. In that we just have about 1 more week before we send the birds for slaughter. In fact, sometime this week I was told that the birds will be going to the abattoir for slaughter. So I'm happy to report that just within the 6 weeks that have passed for that first model of the program, that the persons who were chosen for that program are very happy that they are now able to have the practical knowledge on the growing of broilers, and also they had the theoretical knowledge from persons from the State College, and we are just winding down the first model of the program.
The MP says that more individuals will be trained in the poultry business after this module has been completed.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole Highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Association Teacher Dominique en collaboration avec Ministère de l'Éducation et Fédération Teacher Canada qui a conduit workshop Soma pour Teacher en Dominique. Sinon, président Association Teacher Dominique Sylvian Nicolas, workshop celle-là qui a conduit tous les Soma, c'est pour engager Teacher venir plus professionnel à travailler ailleurs.
Ça nous a fait, c'est ça nous a toujours fait DAT. Nous n'habitons pour teachers nous during summer là pour venir plus meilleur teacher. So nous avons fait ça, nous avons Canadian tutors ici qui ont aidé nous. Of course, nous also ni Moon Ministry of Education, qui a aidé nous tout. Mais DAT, c'est ça nous avons parlé quand nous voulons Moon à professionnels qui sérieux, qui aiment les enfants, qui aiment yo voulez avancer koyo, et veulent nous bailler opportunité pour faire pour yo faire. So nous avons fait ça pour 2 semaines.
Nicolas mentionne subjet yo ka engagé.
Nous avons different courses à mon café, major courses là, yo à Convent High School, mais nous avons course avec technology, monsieur GIS café ça ba nous café ça à grammar school. Nous avons also fait BTech HIV and AIDS, nous avons fait gender issues, et nous avons gardé code professionalism. So ça c'est BTech, tout le monde ni pour savoir. So nous-mêmes nous avons fait nous avons assurer c'est ça so moi oublié ça me le c'est teachers nous yo adai tout because gender issue ça là ça c'est obité nous ni pour nous pas ça di ipala nous pas ça di ipala nous ni pour dire éveil because moi même comme principal l'école moi ni pour dire éveil aux enfants qui ou savent nous pas voulu dire mais nous ni pour dire avec ces situations so ça nous a dit nous pas dire ça qui pas bon ça qui bon ça nous a dit il là et nous voulons savoir comment pour dire avec ces situations là comme ça
En nouvelle, travail qui a commencé à Chimé, Cuba, à Carum. Parole celle-là sortie du Parlement pour constituency Saint Joseph, Honorable Kelvin Darrow. Projet celle-là qui a tapé si pour financier en bas programme BAM.
Nous já connaître hot BAM là, ça c'est Banana Company Measures, pour European Union là. Il tenait funds pour one de ça qui est Farm Access Roads. Et puis Cuba Carum Road, c'est en Chimé qui n'est pour nous pour faire travail hot Chimé ça là. Mais ça qu'a fait c'est fonds là nous taper hot BAM. Yo qu'a commencé en bah oui. Et puis Cuba Carum nous fait estimates et puis là nous qu'a garder estimates ça là. Nous pour parler et puis Ministry Public Works pour nous finaliser toutes ces estimates là et puis commencer travail section Cuba Carum. Ça c'est une important section plus nous n'avons plus farmers Saint Joe Miro qui a access famille Cuba Carum et puis là nous commencer travail là nous à engage ça nous qui local contractors project ça là pour faire travail Cuba Carum section of Farm Access Road.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour présent. Non, moi, c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
While captivating an audience is a skill that takes years to develop, there are some simple ways to instantly improve your speaking and presentation skills. Here are some things to pay attention to if you want to rapidly improve your speaking ability.
Plan appropriately. Practice. Engage with your audience. Pay attention to body language. Think positively. Cope with your nerves and watch recordings of your speeches. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kimani. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.